All right. Hey, everybody. Michael Batiste from the Elk Calling Academy. Welcome back to Wapiti Wednesday Q&A. I know we are a little later tonight than normal. We are getting closer to season, which means a lot more one-on-one lessons. So we had a couple of them tonight. So anyways, so tonight we have a question from Tyler B from Instagram. Tyler wants to know, once I locate a bull, how do I close the gap? Should a caller stay back in the original position while the shooter closes in? Or do I bugle/cow call my way in? So, all right, first part. Well, let's kind of do this. Quick answer is it really depends on the situation. First off, how do I close the gap? So basically what you want to do is once you have a bull located, he's answered back, you can pinpoint his location, you know where he's at. Best thing to do is kind of pick a landmark. It could be a rock outcropping or a dead snag or something. Pick something over nearby where he's at that you know that once you start working that direction, you're going to be able to see that landmark, and you're going to use that as kind of your navigational beacon. You're going to work your way towards that bull. You're going to close the distance. Definitely check the wind as you're going, because you always want to keep the wind in your favor. Biggest thing that you want to try to do is get on the same level or slightly above or slightly below that bull. It depends on which direction the wind's blowing, whether the wind's going downhill or uphill. Now, as far as should you bugle or cow call your way in? No. So once I start working to a bull, I don't really make any more calls until I am set up. So now, as you're moving towards him, if he hasn't bugled in a while and you don't know if he's still in that same spot, you can kind of do a check call, which a check call is basically, it's not really giving your position away. And the check call that I do a lot is a lost mew. It's not threatening. It's not a bull sound. I don't have to worry about, running him off. And a lot of times on that lost mew, he'll pipe off. He'll give his location, saying I'm right here. Now, as I'm moving towards him, I'm not too worried about going that super silent ninja mode and not making any noise. I mean, elk make noise when they move through the woods. Why can't we? But there are kind of parameters on that. Once I know I'm starting to get close, and by close, I mean 175 yards out from where that location is, where I heard that bull from, I'm really going to slow down. And at that point, I'm going to really be aware of where I'm stepping. I don't want to step on any pine cones. I don't want to step on any sticks at that point. I want to be as quiet as possible moving in to my setup location. The other reason I do this is I'm really scanning through the trees, looking for, flashes of tan, a flick of an ear. Hold on, guys. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So I'm really looking for elk, because I've had it happen to me before where I've heard an elk bugle. I pinpointed his location. I'm moving in. Only problem is it was a bull with a bunch of cows, and he was on the backside of the herd, which, I still thought he was a good 150 yards out, maybe a little farther. He was, but his cows weren't. He was about 50, 60 yards on the other side of the cows. And, I happen to be going slow, catch the cows, which then that's a great scenario, because now the cows are in between he and I, and that is a great setup right there to act like you're stealing one of his cows and get him. So no, I don't bugle or cow call my way in. I go quiet until I'm in my setup. So now, the other part of Tyler's question was, should a caller stay back in the original position while the shooter closes in? This is, again, one of those, it depends on the situation. So, we've had elk in the past that they'll bugle and they'll answer all day long from a long distance. But as soon as you start getting close, you kind of burst their comfort bubble and they move away. And then you move in on them again and call and they move away. Now, there's a few things that you need to kind of consider. Why is he moving away? Is he moving away because I am bumping into his comfort level, or is he moving away because he's heading to his bedding ground or he's heading to his feeding area? Why is he moving away? If you determine that he's moving away because you're getting too close and bumping his or popping his comfort bubble, then by all means, a great tactic is to have the collar stay put. So have that collar stay at that range that bull feels comfortable about. And you'll know it because he continually responds to you. He continually answers you. At that point, have the collar stay right there and have the shooter at that point slip in quietly. We've had to do this a few times. We've had a couple of bulls in our area that, we kind of call them catch me if you can, because they're very, very vocal from a distance. But as soon as you start getting close, they just kind of move back away from you a little bit. So, and again, it's a few factors. Why is he moving away? Am I being too aggressive with my bugling? Is he, not in that aggressive mindset? These are all factors that you kind of have to, think about and play in each situation and kind of eliminate those things so that you know exactly what you're dealing with. But we have had a few bulls that it didn't matter what bugle, we do, they would just move away. So, that's a great tactic there to hang back and then let the collar move in. So, all right, Tyler, I hope that answers your questions there. Now, when we talked about closing the gap, a few other things to kind of consider is how far out in that bull is he, how far from you, how much ground do you have to cover? What's the terrain like? How long is it going to take you to get over there? What time of morning, what time of morning is it? Because remember, guys, early in the morning and the evening, thermals are blowing down. During the heat of the day, as the temperature rises, those thermals turn and go uphill. So if you're getting close to that time of morning where thermals are going to change, you really have to account for that in your approach to the bull, because the last thing you want to do is start your approach pattern to that bull and you're coming in underneath him, but you get there about the time that thermals start changing and boom, they start going uphill. You just did all that hard work to locate and get over there. So keep, account for all of those factors. Now, if it's kind of a newer area that you really don't know what the terrain's like, throw caution to the wind and try to stay on that same level with him. Then you really don't have to worry about thermals going uphill or going downhill. And that's where you might have to gain elevation where you called from before you start side hilling over. Have seen it before where I'm on one side of the canyon and that bull answers from the other, kind of get an idea of where he's at, where he's going. And then I'm going to plan my route again, based on how long it's going to take me to get over there. So, all right. So anyways, Tyler, like I said, hopefully that answers your questions. We got some great questions in last week from here on YouTube, from our Facebook channel, from the Instagram. So if you guys do have questions, in the comment section down below this, be sure that you submit those questions and we'll definitely answer them on future episodes. So, all right, video coming up this Friday. We have the review of the Heritage line of open reed cow calls from Native by Carlton. You guys are going to want to check that out if you're not familiar with that call line. It is a very, very impressive line of open reed cow calls. You know what? I'll save some of that stuff for the video. So, all right. So Friday, Heritage line of open reed cow calls. We did also get some more reviews filmed this weekend. We have some call reviews of the diaphragm reeds from Smith Game Calls that they just launched for 2018. We did a review of the Sacrifice LS from Badlands pack. So definitely have some more reviews of gear and calls coming up. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks for tuning in tonight. Like I said, I know it's a little later, but, getting busy with lessons. We're getting closer and closer to elk season. So hopefully you guys are working on your calling, working on your physical condition and your shooting, getting ready for elk season. But we definitely appreciate you tuning in. As always, guys, keep calling, keep practicing, but most importantly, have fun. And we'll see you next week live on Wapiti Wednesday Q&A, brought to you by Elk Calling Academy. All right, guys. Good night. We'll see you next week.